Since it's now November, let's talk about all the major movies and TV shows coming out this month.
This was our home.
On November 1st, the first movie of the month is Here, coming from Robert Zemeckis. This is his new movie with Tom Hanks, and I gotta say, I'm not excited for this one at all. I've probably seen it by now as you're watching this video. The review is probably out by now or out in a couple days, but yeah, I really am not excited for this. It looks very gimmicky and very fake, like the deep fake faces on Tom Hanks is really bad, and that one camera angle kind of thing, it's experimental, yes, but I don't think it's going to work for the whole movie. Let's just say that. I think it's going to get pretty boring and pretty worn out through its an hour and 45-minute runtime, and Robert Zemeckis hasn't made a good movie since Flight in my eyes, so I think it's going to be not great.
You know what to do.
Juror number 2 also launches on the 1st, but it also doesn't because supposedly Warner Bros. Is only launching this movie in under 50 theaters or something like that. So if you're like in a major city where you get awards movies, you'll probably be able to see this. I probably won't. I don't know what the plan is with this movie, but its first trailer, or its only trailer, was magnificent. Everyone was raving about that. It's Clint Eastwood's last movie, supposedly, and they're just not giving him a wide release. I don't know when it's going to come out on digital, when it's going to come out on Max. I don't really know. I think they're doing this 50 theater thing to get it eligible for awards. But at this point, I don't even know when I'm going to see it, when it's going to come out for everyone. But it's a movie that I'm really excited for. Nicholas Holt's in this, Toni Collette, Clint Eastwood's always made some very interesting movies. I just wish that Warner Bros. Gave this a proper release. On November 7th, which is a Thursday, we have Outer Banks Season 4 Part 2. This is, of course, the second part to Season 4. The last part came out in October, which I actually enjoyed, but, you know, it's not as good as its highs used to be. It's still entertaining. Outer Banks is, of course, entertaining every season. This isn't the worst season, though. Season 3 was my least favorite. This season is pretty fun. At least they're not doing what they're doing with Cobra Kai, which we'll get to later. This is only 2 parts. I'm not sure if this is the last season. Everyone's, you know, pretty grown up in this show. I think they're going to be doing other projects. So this might be the last one. No confirmation on that. Or one more. I'd want them to do one more season because I think there's still more story to tell. But I'm really excited for the second part. That cliffhanger was kind of insane. And I just think that Outer Banks is a really entertaining show.
It's a frog marriage, and we're getting in an old ASAP.
On November 8th, it's a huge day, and Anora is going wide. You might see it in your theaters on the 1st, but the 8th is when it's going wide for almost every theater in America. This is one I'm so excited for. The praise on this one out of each film festival, majority though being from Cannes, was just electric. This is from Sean Baker. Everyone's calling it his best film ever. He's of course responsible for the Florida Project, which is a great film. Red Rocket, which is just amazing, and it's really underrated. Sean Baker is just a masterful storyteller, and I think that he's finally going to get the praise that he's deserved with this movie. Everyone's calling it his best movie. Mikey Madison is getting some extreme praise, getting Best Actress praise. She could win for Best Actress. This movie, man, just looks terrific. The 2 trailers that are out are perfect. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and I think I'm really going to enjoy it. Will it be, you know, one of the top 3 movies of the year for me? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to find out.
Are you interested in learning more about the Church of Jesus Christ?
Come on in.
Also on that day, we have Heretic coming from A24. This is a new thriller that just looks fantastic. Every single trailer I see, the more excited I get from this movie. I'm not even getting tired of these trailers. Some movies I get tired of their trailers, but no, Heretic looks great every single time I see it. This has Hugh Grant in it, playing like a villain. Sophie Thatcher, who I'm just loving at the moment. And then Chloe East, who I'm not too familiar with, but I think she looks great in the trailers. This is kind of like a thriller about belief and, you know, disbelief. That's kind of like all I want to say because I feel like there's a lot that we haven't learned yet. But yeah, I'm very excited for this one. I feel like I'll enjoy it, and I haven't even seen it yet. So that bodes well.
Then stop me.
On November 9th, which is a Saturday, we have Arcane Season 2 launching, Part 1 being, of course, on the 9th, Part 2 launching the next week on the 16th, and Part 3 will be, I think, the 23rd. This is in 3 parts, as I said. very, very, very excited for this show. I was kind of surprised it's only going to be 2 seasons, but this is the last season of the show. Season 1 is like my favorite all-time season of an animated show. Arcane is like nothing I've ever seen before. This is like a League of Legends spinoff from the game. And I'm not even a big League of Legends person. I think I've played the game like twice in my whole entire life. But you really don't have to know League of Legends to watch this. I think it's perfect that way. The animation is terrific. The writing is just exceptional. The characters, man, they're great. And the soundtrack, man, what they do for the soundtrack here is terrific. I'm excited to see what the season 2 soundtrack is, because I think they're doing different people for that one. But yeah, the season 1, if you haven't seen it, you will probably watch the first episode and be hooked. If you're not hooked by then, stay till episode 3, because that's when something big happens. But after you watch episode 3, you will not want to put it down. I'm actually going to rewatch it the week before this comes out. I'm very excited to watch it again. I think I've watched season 1 like 5 times so far. On November 13th, you have Emilia Perez launching on Netflix. You might see this in some theaters. I think Netflix is launching it very limited just to get it nominated for awards, which this is going to be a pretty big Oscars movie. Not sure how many wins it's going to get, but I think it can rack up a decent amount of nominations, maybe like 7 or 8. I feel like, I haven't seen this movie, of course, but just like the buzz is kind of interesting. It's not like a lot of people love it, not a lot of people hate it. It's like really in the middle. It's kind of a divisive Oscars movie, which usually means a lot of nominations, not a lot of wins, but I could see just a lot happening with this movie over the next couple months. I'm kind of interested in it the more footage I see, but I'm still not excited for it. It's kind of a very hard movie to explain. Supposedly it's like a musical, action cartel movie at the same time. It's very, very out there. Like, you never see movies like this before. But it does have a very stacked cast with Zoe Saldana. You have Selena Gomez in this also. So you have a lot of Oscar players in this movie. I'm definitely going to watch it, but I'm really on the fence about it.
Level 4 naughty lister? A level 4 naughty lister? Oh, is that funny too?
On November 15th, you have Red One, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this movie because I despise this movie. Its budget is like $250 million, and it looks like one of the fakest movies that's been released this year. It's just another Christmas movie trying to be popular. Like, you're never going to get a really popular Christmas movie like you did in the early 2000s. And The Rock is just very overexposed at this point. Chris Evans cannot get in a good movie to save his life. He needs to go back to Marvel at this point. I'm going to watch it, but I'll probably hate it.
Welcome to Barcelona, bitch.
Also coming out on that day is Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2, and I hate this. I hate it. I mean, I love Cobra Kai, and I think this Season 6 is good, but not great. But splitting this season up into 3 parts, just because it's the last season, is crazy. They had Part 1 come out in July or August or something like that, Part 2 this month, and then Part 3 is not even coming out until next year. Like, how can you continue that span for like 7 or 6 months? That's insane. And I just think it's so dumb, especially with a show that has 30-minute episodes to release 5 episodes. So you're only getting like 2.5 hours of content. Like, come on. At least Outer Banks gives us like 50-minute episodes, and they're only splitting it into 2 parts. They just ruined the momentum of this show in my eyes. It was such a great show to binge, especially when Netflix first got it. They released it to binge. Now they're splitting it up. It's not working for me in this latest season. It's just, I really don't like the storylines. I think it's getting very annoying. The amount of times they say Miyagi-Do, it's not the Miyagi-Do way. I'm like, come on, guys. The writing has gotten very lazy, but yeah, I'll still finish it. But I think this is the weakest season yet. On November 22nd is a huge day. First, we have The Piano Lesson launching on Netflix, which was supposed to be a big Oscars movie, but it isn't really anymore. This is coming from Denzel Washington's son, Malcolm Washington. It also has John David Washington in it, Daniel Deadwyler, Samuel L. Jackson, which I'm actually really excited to see this cast. I just heard the movie isn't that great. We also have Blitz coming to Apple TV Plus, which a lot of people don't have that streaming service, but I really do recommend getting it. It's a really good value. I think it's only like $8 or something like that. I might be wrong, but it is really good. There's a lot of great stuff. Blitz has Saoirse Ronan in it, and it's directed by Steve McQueen, so there's a lot to look forward to on this one.
Your name will be forgotten!
Do
to order.
After about 24 years or so, we're getting a sequel to Gladiator. I am so hyped for this movie. Some early reactions have already came out like a week or two ago, getting some great praise on this one. It's gonna be great. I know a lot of people hated the first trailer because of the Kanye song, but I still bumped that trailer. I love that trailer. Paul Mescal has proved himself many times. Fantastic. Denzel Washington's in this, and he is going to get a supporting nomination for this. I bet you that much that he's going to get one. He looks fantastic. I've just heard a lot of praise for this one. I'm a huge fan of the first Gladiator. I think it's one of my favorite films of all time. I think that Ridley Scott is going to be back in this one after the miss with Napoleon. My expectations for this one are super high. The last movie launching that day is going to be Wicked, and you know, this is going to be a huge day at the theaters, just like it was for Oppenheimer and Barbie. This is going to be less of a big day, but still pretty fun day. I wasn't excited for Wicked the first trailer I saw. The more footage I see, I'm getting more excited for it, even though it does kind of look a little ugly. CGI and lighting on that movie need some work. The behind the scenes stuff is really beautiful though. Got some great performers in this movie, except Cynthia Erivo is causing some drama on the marketing side to this movie. Hopefully that doesn't hurt it too bad. I think it's going to be a huge success. The play is of course a huge success, so we got a big day ahead of us on the 22nd.
Can I get a chee-hoo?
November 27th, the last major movie this month is going to be Moana 2, which is the sequel to the very successful Moana. Of course, at the box office, that movie did great on Disney Plus. I think a lot of kids watch that every single day. It's always at the top of the charts. Moana 2, though, I don't think it's going to be as good as a movie. I think it might make more at the box office than the first one. What's interesting about this one, it's kind of like a repurposed TV show, because they were making it into a TV show. Then they said, oh, flip the script, let's just make it into a second Moana, which I don't know why they didn't do in the first place. Like, the first one was already so successful, why not just make it into another movie? Doesn't make sense. We have, of course, the main crew coming back from this one. I think they're just going to be fighting a new monster. Moana is going to be more grown up in this one. I just expect another fun time. I think the first Moana is one of my favorite Disney animated movies. This one's not going to be as good, but I still think it will be a lot of fun. That's all the new movies and TV shows coming out in November. My most anticipated ones are Anora and Heretic and probably Arcane. Leave down below in the comments what you guys are most excited for. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.